Okay, what up? I'm going to show you a little bit about targeting in general. There's different ways of targeting. Some may be better than others, but as far as which one you end up using, just use whatever makes sense to you. Use the simplest in your mind. I just want to show a few options. Um, a lot of these are self-explanatory, but I wanted to go through them. If you go to interface, go to combat, cast bars, check it. I mean, really no reason for it not to be checked. This means when you target someone, it will show a cast bar down here. If you have nameplates up, it'll also show the cast bar on the nameplates. Um, Target is target, enable it. That way you can see what your target is targeting. Enable class colors and nameplates. We'll talk about nameplates more, but class colors basically, brown warrior, orange druid, yellow rogue. That way you can see from across the arena what the class is, even if, you know, they'll show up on Gladius, but it's nice to know where they are and who is where, what class is where. Auto self-cast, I like this, especially on healers. If you have a friendly targeted, it'll heal your friendly. If you don't have him targeted, it'll heal you. If you have an enemy targeted, it will also heal you. Self-cast key, I put the shift on all of my healers. Basically, the biggest thing I've done recently that improved my healing game was bound my party frames to mouse wheel up and mouse wheel down. Party member 1 is up, party member 2 is mouse wheel down. And also bound this self-cast key to shift. Basically say 2 is my heal, shift 2 heals me, 2 heals my target. It is absolutely amazing. I'm glad I made that swap over. I never use any kind of keys to actually target a party member. It just feels too clunky to me, but that's, my opinion. Here's something that you can kind of clean up if you have a lot of stuff going on the screen. You can uncheck a lot of these things. I have friendly players' names, and really you could uncheck that if you'd like. Enemy players, basically, it's over top of their head. It shows red. You can do it as pets. You could even uncheck this, even if you didn't really care to see pet names. Uh, Nameplates, they enabled this fairly recently within the past couple patches, overlapping unit nameplates. I have it checked because if there's so many things, it tries to spread out the nameplates, and where the nameplate is on the screen isn't actually where that character is. When I was tanking, I had this unchecked because I was able to click on things a lot better if they weren't lapping over each other. But for PvP, I have it checked. You could also get rid of totems and different things if you didn't really care to see those. What I do, and I'll show you in a second, I have show nameplates keybound, and I basically use that quite often. In arenas, like, nameplates are amazing for kiting, and I'll show you that a bit later as well. Another thing with the UI, if you go to nameplates, go under targeting functions, target nearest enemy is tab by default. If you're tired of targeting pets, tired of targeting totems, etc., you can change tab to target nearest enemy player. It'll target players only, no pets, no totems. It'll definitely simplify things. One thing that I've always kind of wanted to use, I just never put it into practice, is shift tab. You'll go back to your last enemy. Could be very helpful, CCing one guy, going back to the other, especially in battlegrounds where there's a lot of people and a lot of different things going on. The other thing that I bind, right here you'll see target member 1, party member 1, 2, mouse wheel up, mouse wheel down, shift up, shift down is 3 and 4. But this is the more important one. Show enemy nameplates. Use it, put it somewhere, I wouldn't put it on, like, 1 through 5, but definitely put it on your screen where you can get to it fairly easily. I like to turn it on and off. Some people play them on the whole time, some people never use them. I think I'm kind of in the middle. So there's, a lot of different kinds or different ways to target. One of them is, just probably the simplest, point and click. You know, you can just click on different things to target them. Um, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, this is pretty effective. If something is really far away from me, I can't tab. Tab has a range limitation on it. If you need to target somebody really far away, or somebody quite far away in an arena, across the bridge in Blade's Edge or whatever, I point and click. That's pretty much how I do it. Um, I keep basically my main focus in the middle of the screen. I may use Gladius for a targeting, but most of the time it's my mouse is right here moving anyways when I move my character, and I'll just point and click on them. It has its uses. I don't think it's good to use that all the time. Uh, but anyways, most of the time when it's further away or I need to target a totem that's further away. Okay, I'm in orc. Tab targeting. Um, this is the best place I've found to kind of show you. Let me zoom in a little here. Um, Basically, tab targeting cycles through your target. It tries to get the one in front of you. Basically, it's in front of you in 180 degrees. So basically, my camera angle right now is all that it will find. It's not going to get anything behind me. Tab target, it works on 180 degrees in front of your character. If you notice, I'm just pressing tab over and over. It's getting nothing behind me, just cycling through the targets in front of me. If you'll notice, the one I'm pointing at is the one it targets first, and then tries going from there. Now, if you see, it's not too reliable. It misses this target entirely, so you can't depend on it totally. Yeah, it'll try to get the one closest to you. So if I'm sitting here staring at an arena partner or a arena player, it's gonna. If I press tab once, it's going to target exactly what is in front of me. Now, if you're beside somebody and you hit tab, it's going to target the one in front of you, not the one actually beside you. So you have to be aware of where you're facing. So anyways, so if I'm facing the other way and I'm trying to tab, the only reason it gets that one is because I'm in 180 degrees range. If I step up just a little bit and completely face away from all those targets, I'm spamming tab, and it's pulling these target dummies up here into view. It's pulling nothing behind me, even though these are closer. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. Tab targeting is what I use. Here's showing the nameplates. I have it keybound. It's pretty easy to show nameplates, just with the on and off with the keybind. This is so incredibly helpful in arenas, and I'll show you a clip later of why. Another kind of targeting, it's usually built in a macro. It's called mouse over targeting. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I actually just now started using it. Basically, if you want, you can mouse over target. What that means is when you press your ability, basically you press your ability while you're mousing over something, it will activate that ability on that specific target. You don't even have to click. It's just a mouse over. Some people use these for killing, for their pets, killing totems. Some people use these for CC. That way they don't even actually know that you're targeting them when they get CC'd, so they kind of never see it coming. Again, not going to spend a lot of time on it. I don't think you guys will use that at this point. Okay, I want to touch on arena targeting. But first, before we go into arena targeting, a big part of arena targeting is not only Gladius, but focus targeting as well. For example, I'm going to set this target dummy as my focus, and if you noticed in key bindings earlier, I bound it to Y. It sets my focus. You can move this wherever on your screen. I just move it right here. This is where I have it. I can see people casting spells since I have cast bars showing up on my target and focus target. So that way I can see incoming sheeps, incoming cyclones, etc., etc. Over here, I'll have Gladius, and I'll talk a little bit about that. But basically, the reason you focus target is you can have your target and keep an eye on someone else. It's really helpful in twos. Have your target, and then have focus target for incoming CC. Basically, when I'm a healer, I focus target the mage, and anytime I see him casting sheep, I'll run behind a pillar, and it canceled his spell. I actually told Dustin I wish I had 2 focus targets where I can really keep track of people a lot better, and keybinds for those. Another advantage of focus targeting, um, for example, this target dummy is my focus. Basically, if I'm on someone and I need to charge my focus target, I have a macro for that. See, I didn't even have him targeted, and he charged my focus. So basically, I can be on someone. Someone over here is about to some incoming CC. I can make this guy my focus right off the bat, and just focus intercept, focus charge, focus sheep, focus scatter shot, focus death grip, focus strangulate. The possibilities are absolutely endless. And focus target, when they brought focus into the game, it really changed the game and how it's played. Opened up a lot more possibilities. Okay, now I'll kind of get into arena targeting. Basically, everyone knows what Gladius is. This is how I have my Gladius set up on most characters. I could even disable names because I don't really care what their name is. The only reason I have name up is if we're going against 2 mages or 2 of the same class. That way you can specify which character. I like to have the cast bars there so you can see what they're casting. I like to see if people are out of mana or not. Also, I'll touch on this in a little bit, but depending on how much mana someone has or how much health, you can actually tell maybe their spec. But anyways, the way I have my UI set up, go into Gladius, general, frame scale 9, because it doesn't need to be massive. I dropped it down just a little bit. Announcements, I like to announce to party about different things. I don't have anything turned on, mainly because I haven't arenaed up with this guy very much. Trinket display, I like the big icon to put on the side. Tells exactly if they've used their trinket, because that's really the main reason I have Gladius. If it wasn't for the trinket, I would just use the Blizzard in-game tracker at arena, enemy arena tracker, or whatever it's called. If you do use Gladius, you can right click on anybody's name to set them as your focus, so you wouldn't actually have to target them, hit your focus key, and then it's there, which is pretty beneficial. When the gates are opening, when you're charging the other player, just right click who you want to set your focus and you're done. That's one of the few options of Gladius that's pretty nice. But anyways, there's a lot of other things I could go into about targeting different people in arenas, but it's really more of an advanced type targeting, and we're just trying to get some basics down and just kind of why I do certain things. Party targeting, like I said before, I have mouse wheel up, mouse wheel down, shift up, shift down for my party target 1 through 4. Being a healer, this is absolutely key to be able to target different party members in arenas. It's not as big a deal in 2s, but 3s and then 5s. I haven't actually healed in 5s, but I've played a little bit of 5s on DPS. 3s especially, you need to be able to alternate between yourself and your 2 party members extremely fast to be ready for swaps and everything. I have heard people binding party members to ZXC. I've heard it ASD. I've heard it F1 through 4. But I kind of stole the idea from Hydra, who's a really good priest. I love the mouse wheel, and I'll probably use that as long as I ever play a healer, and really in any other class that you need to target your party for any reason. What do you do about zooming in and out, you might ask? I just bound that to control mouse wheel. Zoom in, zoom out while you hold down control. I don't change my camera angle or camera distance that much to even need those keys. One thing you could do while you're in arena, you can set an icon on yourself. It may help your teammates identify where you are. For instance, if you're line of sight and you can't actually see the player, you can still see the star. Set this guy, and I can still see the star and know where he is on my screen without actually being able to see him. This is pretty helpful in like 3s and 5s when you have a lot going on. Um, that way you don't lose your partner and you guys don't line of sight each other. It's actually pretty helpful. I see a lot of top arena teams doing this, so don't think that you're being new by doing that at all. Talked about targeting party members, targeting self. Um, like I said, different people do different. Some people use the F1 to target self or whatever other keybind. Um, don't click on yourself. That's pretty ridiculous. Really, I never have a need to ever target myself on any player. I don't need a keybind for that. I use the shift. In If I do need bandage is a really popular one where you may need to target yourself. There's a macro for a bandage macro, so you really don't ever need to target yourself ever, really. I don't think, at least. Just want to touch on some things that maybe will help you target. Maybe you're losing your targets, you can't get the right target, etc., etc. I'm just going to list a few and hopefully have some clips to show you why they help, why I do them, etc. One of them is just to be sure of your target. I go by these, they call them power bars, I guess you call them the mana bar, the rage bar, the energy bar. If you're going up against, for example, a priest rogue, and you have somebody targeted and he has mana, I mean, that's going to be the priest. It's definitely not the rogue. Rogue uses energy. So just like kind of slow down and just think logically sometimes in arenas. I know arenas are really fast paced, but if you're not getting the basics, you're not going to get the advanced stuff ever. I mean, targeting is key. So just kind of slow down, think logically sometimes. You know, what if you go against 2 mana classes? No big deal. You can see who you're targeting if you have Gladius, if nothing else. When I have myself targeted, if you'll notice, there's a yellow ring around who you have targeted. That's one way. It's not a great way, but it is a way to determine. And man, I don't know. I'm probably going to show you some battlegrounds or arenas so you can kind of determine what class people are. For example, like this guy, I have him targeted right here. I can tell you he's a ret paladin, and I haven't even looked at anything. I see he has a 2-hand weapon, and he's a blood elf. Blood elves can't be warriors. The only thing that could be is a ret paladin or a DK. The reason I say he's a ret paladin is because he has a mana pool, and he's a blood elf, and he's carrying a sword. I look up and see he has 6,000 mana. He's obviously not a healing paladin. He has to be ret or prot, and with the 2-hand, he's ret. So it's just process of elimination. This person right here, this is either a shaman or a druid. The reason I know that, it's a tauren. That's pretty much the only thing it could be. It's a tauren with mana. It could be a shaman. Could be a druid. You can also look at buffs as well. This guy's not buffed right now, but so I look at his health, or I look at his mana. He's probably a healing shaman, an elemental shaman, or a druid. I see him casting Nourish. Nourish is a druid spell, so it's just process of elimination. This guy right here, he's dark. He's a shadow priest. You know, it's just kind of process of elimination sometimes. And also I look at tooltips. Like I see somebody running, I'll hover over them real quick. You don't even have to click them. Look at your tooltip. It shows he's a hunter. Another thing that helps targeting, if you're in twos, you're targeting one person, um, use your focus target. So basically that's the 2 targets in the whole arena. You should never lose targets in twos, especially if no pets, no totems. Use tab. If you're on one guy, you tab, you target to the other guy. Twos are a really simple way of getting targeting down. Actually much more simpler than even BGs. If you've BG'd, then you have a good grasp on how to target. Another thing I touched on, if you're not sure about targeting, not sure who you're targeting, use nameplates. That way you can see what class, like if your arena partner calls out go after the priest, you see the nameplate with white, you click on him or tab to him, and you know you're on the priest. But yeah, basically just looking at mana pools, and just observing the character. That way, it seems like a slow process, but it'll become a process of elimination. Let's go out front. Okay, I know this is kind of annoying with all these people around, but I just wanted to give you some more examples in a friendly environment where you can kind of just pick out different classes. I look over here. I see a Tauren on a mount. He's obviously a Death Knight. Look at this mount. It's a DK mount. He's got Unholy Presence up. He's a DK, no questions asked. This guy's sitting down. He is an orc. If you know gear at all, you'll notice that's a shaman headpiece. However, if you didn't know gear, you look at him. He's an orc with mana. He's either a warlock or a shaman. He has Unleash Rage, which is a shaman buff. You know he's an orc shaman at that point before he even has to lay down totems. Let's look at somebody else. This kid right here, obviously a warlock. He's got a pet sitting right beside of him. He's an undead with caster gear on, so he has to be a warlock. This guy's sitting right in front of me. This guy's a blood elf. He's got a two-hand. I mean, obviously I can tell by his gear what he is, but he's got a two-hand weapon. And he's a blood elf. He could be a DK or a ret paladin. Warriors, which two-hand, can't be blood elves. He could also be a hunter. Let's click on him. He has mana. So he's either a ret paladin or a hunter. It would take about 0.5 seconds to see him in action to tell if he's a ret paladin or a hunter. He has no buffs, no aura on, so I'm going to assume he's a hunter unless I see him in action. He has hunter gear on as well, if you're familiar with hunter at all. Let's see, something else. This dude hopping around right here. He is an orc, and he has a shield. And he has mana. He is absolutely a shaman. An orc with a shield could be a warrior. However, an orc with a shield with mana is definitely shaman. But I think you get the idea. You know, process of elimination, and that just takes time. Okay, this may not make a whole lot of sense. We're in a battleground setting here. A lot of times I just kind of scan through, like if I'm about to go try to take DR, I just kind of scan through and look at my tooltip and just kind of scan through the people and see what I have over there, see if I have a lot of healers. Let's see here. We have some incoming people here. I'm going to throw up nameplates and kind of show you. Actually, we don't have incoming. Yeah, here we go. I'll just run into them for the sake of the vid. Just see, you can throw up nameplates and you can just kind of see. And actually, I'm not even, for some reason I don't have class color on. I must have clicked it off. And you see me die. Anyways, the nameplates, I mean, you can see pretty much everybody, you know, that you would need to. Now, okay, this is cool. We have a big incoming. I have nameplates up now. So now we can kind of see. Look at this. Look how see, It's really good if you click on people. It makes it a lot easier. If nothing else, you can click on them to see their nameplates. Oh my god. But yeah, you can see class color nameplates. I can see exactly what classes all of these people are right now. Basically, here is another example. If you can notice from across the arena, I can see exactly where the DK is. This is especially helpful in the Grand Arena. You can also, since the druid is stealthed, you'll be able to see as soon as the nameplate pops out, so you can see the druid came out of stealth there, so you know exactly where he is, and I can go ahead and get in position because of that. One thing to notice, when I swapped to druid there, I actually clicked on him, which is fine. I clicked on him to make sure I targeted him since he had just came out. I didn't want to chance a tab because the pet was there. I just clicked on his nameplate, and it was a fairly easy process, especially since your mouse is free anyway, since we're all now keybinding everything, hopefully. If you'll notice in this clip, I have nameplates up right away, so I can see exactly where the warrior and paladin are going to come. It's good in this arena because you can see the paladin way over there down the ramp. You could see people coming around the side. Sorry, not down the ramp, on the ramp. Now see, he fell off, and now I know that because the nameplates are up. It just makes it much easier to see where they are on the maps, especially since it's a double level map. Okay, this is probably the last clip. Basically what I wanted to just show you here in this clip is where I can tell where people are. Like, rogue pops out, I know immediately he is out, where he's going, which side of the arena, etc. But the main thing here is knowing where the mage is at all time. That way I can pop in and out and know where he is in relation to my pillar. By using the nameplates, I can see that nameplate through that pillar. So basically I can just pop in and out when I need to on the mage. But yeah, I think you get the general idea. So hopefully this has helped.